Hi, this is Mrs. Vrobel. This is Chapter 14, Mixtures and Solutions. So in the previous series of slides, we looked at the types of mixtures and the types of solutions and how to classify each. So today we're going to look at solution and concentration. So I have two glasses and they're both full of salt water, and if I did not know the concentration, I would say, well, they're the same. They look the same, even though they're not. But notice that when we're looking at concentration, we're looking at how much solute is being dissolved in a solution. So you want to pay attention to those two things. And for concentration, you want to say whether or not a solution is concentrated or dilute. Usually you can tell, but not always. You have to be careful. So here are some ways that we can determine concentration, and we're going to do examples of each in class. So notice previous chapters we've looked at mass percent. We could do volume. So we could look at volume of solute versus volume of solution. Molarity is something that we're going to learn today. Molality is something that typically is expressed in biology. So we're not going to cover that. But notice they talk about kilograms of solvent. And then lastly, there's mole fraction. So molarity, this is another way of counting or amassing how much solute is dissolved in liter of solution. So please note, when we're looking at molarity, we're looking at liter of solution. And that does not mean the liter of solvent, that means the total volume. So when we solve for molarity, notice that we're looking at moles of solute. That is really, really important. So moles will be in the numerator, but liters of solution will be in the denominator. So the fraction units are always moles over liters. Here we have a pictorial of how do you make up a concentration of a solution. So when I go into the stockroom, I get a volumetric flask, and I use a specific glassware that has a little volume marker at the top here. So I'll put my solute in the container, and then I'll add a certain amount of liquid, and I'll dissolve the solute first before I actually go ahead and add up more liquid to the final volume. Okay, there's going to be about 3 different problems that you're going to have to solve. The first one is when you're looking at just molarity. So here I just have 3 types of problems, and we'll do these in class. But notice that you start off with a given, you have moles, and you want to determine the unit here. Here they're asking you volume. Number 2, they're asking you mass. And then lastly, they're asking you molarity. So these are different variables when solving for molarity. With the type 2 problems, we're looking at dilutions. So with dilutions, you have this formula here, and this is something that you're going to have to memorize. M1 times V1, that's the initial concentration, equals M2 times V2. So maybe you'll just have M2 and you're solving for V2, or you have V2 but you're solving for M2. Here is an example of a problem. They want to know the new molarity, and then this one they want to know the volume for the new dilution. Okay, so this is the last type here. We're talking about different concentrations. And what this strange looking symbol here, we're looking at the summation of molarity times volume. So notice that there's a final molarity and there's a final volume. And in this type of problem, we've got a series of solutions. Notice they're the same type of solution, but they're different concentrations. And we're just going to essentially multiply each together and then add them up. And that'll give us a final molarity and a final volume.